Horns up and welcome to definitely not the last episode of Headbangers Kitchen Indian Food Week. I think I've got another week still left in me. Now today's recipe is special for many reasons. For starters, we're going to be making a dish using mutton, which as many of you now know is goat meat here in India. And for some reason, every time I do a goat meat recipe, it doesn't get too many views. So if you like today's recipe, I request you all to please share it on your Facebook, on your Twitter, on your Instagram, wherever you like, so that more people get introduced to mutton or goat meat. And don't worry if you don't get goat meat where you live, lamb is a perfectly acceptable alternative. Now, what is special about today's recipe? For starters, I'm not doing a staple Indian recipe. I am going to be creative today, a little more creative than normal. One of the things I like to do is marry different flavors. Now, there's a lot for me to really explain, but let me try and put it out very briefly. India is not like a particular country. There's nothing that is specifically Indian, so to speak. Every part of India has its own culture, its own language, its own cuisine, and it's unique in its own way. Think of it as the different countries in Europe, One part of India is like one country in Europe. That's the most sort of easy way I can explain it. Anyway, today what I want to do is mix up some different Indian regional cuisines. So I'm going to start with my own, which is Sindhi cuisine. And I have made something called Sindhi mutton on the show before. You can click here and watch that recipe. And then I'm going to take my wife's cuisine, which is Malu food, and I have done a delicious Kerala mutton stew, which again you can click here and watch the recipe for. And I'm going to take the technique that I learned in the Kerala beef fry and apply that to this recipe as well. And yes, if you want the Kerala beef fry recipe, just click here. So today I'm going to make sure Sahil and Dipti are married in the form of food, and hopefully we're going to have a delicious dish. Anyway, that's been the most jibber jabber I've ever done before any recipe video, but I'll write all of it out on the blog post as well. Anyway, let's get cooking. So to make our mutton curry, the first thing I'm going to do is take about half a kilo of mutton and put it in my pressure cooker. This is mutton with bone. I'm just going to season this with some salt and some pepper. Then I'm going to put some water, and then I'm going to cover it with the lid, and I'm going to pressure cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes till it is perfectly tender. Once the mutton is pressure cooked, you're going to open up the pressure cooker. You're going to take out the mutton with a slotted spoon. None of that liquid, you just want the mutton. Set it aside. Then we're going to strain out the liquid from the pressure cooker, and we're going to use this later. This is basically mutton stock, my friends. The next thing we're going to do is get a saucepan or a wok on the stove, and I'm going to heat up some beef fat. Now, if you don't have beef fat, you can use coconut oil, you can use ghee, you can use olive oil for cooking, you can use bacon fat, no problem. Now, once that fat is nice and hot, I'm going to add in about 2 teaspoons of a special spice mix. Now, if you're wondering what this special spice is, well, you will find it in the Sindhi mutton curry recipe. You will find it also written out on the blog post, which is just below this video on YouTube. You will see a link to the written recipe with macros, but I will also tell you, it's basically green cardamoms, whole peppercorns and whole cumin seeds all blended together to make a beautiful spice powder. So that's what it is. And then I'm going to add in some fresh curry leaves, and oh yeah, they are going to deep fry in that fat. Yeah baby, crispy curry leaves. And then in goes my mutton. Yes, we want to caramelize that mutton now. So you're almost like frying that mutton for a second time. And I'm also going to throw in a chopped onion. This is just cut into 4 pieces, and it's going to fry along with the mutton. Give that all a good mix. You want to coat the onions and the mutton in that lovely spice mix which you have almost like fried in the oil, which you actually have fried in the oil, along with those lovely curry leaves. Now my friends, this is where the recipe takes a twist and where I'm going to add some mushrooms to that now and give it all a good mix. You want to cook the mushrooms along with the mutton and the onion, and you want to coat it in all those spices. Oh yeah! Once everything is nice and coated, I'm going to give it another twist and I'm going to add some chopped up spinach. Now I'm going to pour in the stock, the mutton stock that we had. This is actually going to kind of deglaze the wok as well. And now I'm just going to cover it for about 2 minutes and let the spinach wilt. Once that's done, I'm going to give it all a good mix. Now what I love about a good stew is that you can put pretty much anything into it, and putting mushrooms and spinach is a great way for me to get my veggies in as well. Spinach, of course, as you know, is a superfood, so you can never have too much spinach. And now you just want to let this all cook for a bit. You don't need to cover it because now you want to reduce the liquid to whatever consistency you like. And now my friends, to take this to the next level, we're going to add in coconut milk. Coconut milk is one of the ingredients that gives the South Indian stew a very unique flavor, and well, we gotta marry the Sindhi and the Mallu. So here it is. Anyway, give it all a good mix and just let this reduce now. Just keep it open, let it cook, let it bubble away, let it boil. And you can always use xanthan gum to thicken this gravy, but I prefer not to because I'm going to eat it with some cauliflower rice, so I don't mind if it's not a thick gravy. If it's liquidy and soupy, no problemo. Anyway, once it's reached the consistency you like, it's time to turn off the gas. And then of course we finish everything with coriander. Finish it with some coriander. And then my friends, our delicious mutton stew, which has no real name, is ready. And make sure you serve it with some cauliflower rice because, well, it just tastes good. Anyway, enough jibber jabber, time to taste. Alright folks, so it's time to taste my Frankenstein curry. And I say Frankenstein because, well, it's a mixture. It's got no real name, so I'm going to take some of this curry, put it on some cauliflower rice, get some of that spinach, some of the onion. Let's see if I can get a piece of mutton. Okay, wait. I should have cut the mutton up. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to taste the curry first. Oh, wow. Yummy. Let me take a bite of the mutton. Oh, my good Lord. So good. I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with this, my friends. It tastes really good. It's got that little bit of a sort of familiar flavor that I get when I eat a Sindhi mutton curry. And it's also got a bit of that South Indian curry taste because of the curry leaves and the coconut milk. And in my books, is a winner. But of course, what's the point of me cooking, eating it and telling you? You make this at home, you taste it and you tell me, was it good enough for you? You know, it's not something you will find in any restaurant in India because, well, it doesn't exist anywhere in India. It is me being creative, and of course I'm sure there are going to be the purists out there who are going to want to behead me for, you know, sort of bastardizing their cuisine. But you know what? I don't care. Chefs are meant to be innovative. We are meant to break the rules. We are meant to cross the boundaries. Food has no religion or something like that. Anyway, enough jibber jabber from me. I will see you on the next episode. Cheers and keep cooking.
The world is bleeding. What all remains? A shattered head. Festering fest of central decay. An incessant war. My life is bleeding. A broken heart. Someone confessed the sight of me.